Oh yeah, sexy biscuits. Nice.
Long boys blues, 1975. YouTubers on the rise, reviewing games late at night and sometimes friends. But Long boys blues, 1975.
Hey YouTube, Longboys Post 1975, and welcome to a system overview slash and or Chinese tat overview, because you know me, I absolutely love my Chinese knockoff tat, and I also really like, particularly when it comes to Chinese knockoff tat, the little fake tabletop arcade machines they do, clearly inspired by the mini Neo Geo. Don't get me wrong, I love my mini Neo Geo, but I love how nothing is sacred to these people. I did an overview of one or two reviews of the same product last year, maybe the tail end of the year before, and it was the mini retro arcade, and it is basically a tabletop arcade machine that ran Genesis. What did I say? Genesis. I'm English. Mega Drive, Super Famicom, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy, and CPS games, and it was pretty good. Actually, you know, it was really good. It's one of my favourite systems. It had something over the mini Neo Geo that didn't have, that you could either run it off the mains, or it had a rechargeable battery included with it. It had a really nice screen, and it exported to the TV, but only did it down AV, which was a bit disappointing, but it was alright. And also, when you're playing on the TV, much like the mini Neo Geo, you could connect control pads to it. It came with two. They weren't brilliant, but the fact that it gave you them was a really nice touch. Well, I got sent this, and I don't even know if it has a name. I'm reading it on the side. It's a nice box. Anyway, so it's called the JXD. JXD started in 1995. Oh. Good to know. Glad you told us that. But that's exactly what it looks like. I think it's a little bit bigger than the other machine. If you have not seen that video, I would suggest you go and watch it. But that's up to you. And then, yeah, so you've got a picture there on the side, same picture. You've got specs on the side there. I'll hold up for a second so you can read them if you so wish, or possibly pause it. That would be far simpler, wouldn't it? And then, yeah, shipping label, you know, where it's come from or stuff like that. It just says made in China. It doesn't appear to have an actual name. Now, JXD are known for well, when it comes to knockoff Chinese emulation tat, they actually make some effort. I don't know what the grunt in this is, but I've heard that it's got a pretty good process. It's got a little bit of a looking around to see, you know, what people thought of it, and it's got pretty good reviews. It's, what is it, a 4.5-inch screen or something like that? That's a pure guess, so I can't tell you anything. It's all Chinese around the outside. It's a nice sturdy box. It's not one of those when you pull off the top and it goes thump, so I kind of like that. So it's got a pull out flap. But I was sent this and I always look to see what they cost, because it's not me being ungrateful for the individual who sent it to me to try, you know, and obviously make a video on. But I just feel a bit, you know, like it's a bit rude, or a sensitive situation, or topic I should say. But I do it for you guys in case you're interested, because you can buy them on Amazon, and dependent upon the private seller that you look for, because obviously they're all this sort of stuff. You know, it's got ROMs preloaded on it. Apparently it's got 9,000. The other one I was talking about had 3,000. So it's got 9,000. So that's an immediate step up. But you should not be selling stuff on Amazon with preloaded ROMs. So obviously it's through private sellers. And if you look hard enough, it goes from about £69 to £79. Which, to be fair, dependent upon how it runs, I really don't think is that bad. It's quite, you know, a nice simple box. You've got, I guess that's peripherals. Loose. That's the unit in the box. You do have a baggie for protecting your systems is obviously very important. And there's a unit, and obviously there's a plastic tray to hold it all in place. I don't know why I can't talk today, but so that's, you know, that's quite a nice box. I do really like that. First of all, let's have a look at the unit. Now, it doesn't say anything on the outside, but immediately looking at the back of it, I'll show you this in a moment, it's quite interesting and quite a step up over the other machine. Right, so there it is. It's nice form factor. No, I will not be taking the screen protector off. That's my OCD kicking in right there. So you've got 6 buttons. You've got a volume up and down, and you've got a start and a select and a joystick, and I can tell you immediately. This was a problem with the other one, but then I guess things are built to cost, and you're not going to get a micro switch joystick, but can you see that? It's very loose. Yeah. I'm not saying it's terrible. We'll see how that is when I get into the game, but obviously it's kind of its gimmick is being a tabletop arcade machine. Well, you can play it with control pads, I believe, too. Yep, it's got. This is so cool. Wait till I show that. It's got double USB there. You've got your mini USB for charging. That's kind of cool. You've got your TF or SD card, so you can add ROMs to it. I mean, it's got 9,000 on already, so it's a pretty decent selection of games. You're not going to be short for content, you know, out of the box. You've got your headphone in. Is there... No, why would there be a rocker, Dave? Your joystick, your sound is there. I'm all over the shop. Obviously nothing on the sides, but look at that. My Pandora's Mini was HDMI, but I did not know that this had an HDMI out. So it'll be interesting to see what this looks like on a TV, HD TV, when we run it, because immediately, over all the other machines that export to TV, that's a huge step up, if they've done it properly, and that you get HDMI and not god-awful AV, because these things always come with AV, and that's horrible. You have a big, nice big speaker on the back. We'll see what the sound is like in a minute, and you've got a really nice... No, I thought that was protection. No, it is. I'm going to leave it on there anyway. On-off switch there. But that is a really, really nice looking machine. I really like that. Obviously, it's got like the Japanese Neo Geo Mini colour, or one of the ones you could buy in Japan. We'll turn it on. Because they always, there you go, JXD, they always come with charge out of the box for some reason, which is really nice. Kick in. Oh, look. It thinks it's a real operating system. That's kind of cool. Right, let's have a look and see what we've got here. So you have options at the bottom. I will be doing this, trying to capture it on camera, playing some of the games, and I will be plugging it into my TV and capturing it that way. But it's got options at the bottom. They all seem to follow a similar sort of, these tabletop ones I should say, similar sort of title screen, or, you know, operating system is probably too strong a descriptive term. And then up the top you've got a certain number of games that are kind of like quick shortcuts, I guess, but they're not every game and not every system, and they're all CPS systems. I don't know why it's that way, but I can tell you now that this is a far better interface than most of the handheld knockoff stuff that plugs into a TV is, which always seems to be kind of ripping off a weird PSP circular thing, which is completely unintuitive. Not saying that on the PSP, you know, Vita, but completely unintuitive on the handhelds. So I do like stuff like this. So you got at the bottom, you got settings, file, you know, folder exploration, movies, pictures, music, and I don't know what that one is. Oh, it's a shortcut to your game list, right? So basically it runs CPS, Famicom, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color, Game Boy, Mega Drive, PlayStation 1. It's very interesting. That'll be a good indication of what sort of grunt or, you know, chip it has in here. If this can run that as good as the PlayStation Classic, that'll be very interesting to see. And Super Famicom. A couple of things I'm going to talk about here. I'm probably going to repeat myself throughout this video, but if it can run PlayStation 1, that'll be very interesting. What's on here? I don't know. Did I No, I select Super Famicom. It's only got one PlayStation 1 game. It's got Tekken 3. That's going to be a very interesting example of how well it runs a PlayStation game. If it can run anywhere near as good as a PlayStation Classic, then that means it's got a decent amount of grunt in here, and kind of a nice alternative to, you know, going other routes or buying a PlayStation Classic. Although, let's be fair, you can pick them up for 25 quid on Amazon Prime now. And there's a little power light at the back I forgot to show you. Backwards. So you got your 6 buttons. Your buttons feel fine actually. Your joystick may be a little tad loose, and these aren't micro switches, but and they sound, is, you know, hollow. They sound like the little toaster without a soul, but they seem to perform all right. And yeah, and I cannot put it in perspective. I don't know what the, you know, what type of screen it is, because I'm really not very good at things like that. But that, trust me, you're not gonna see that like I do, because you're not sat here looking at it. You're looking through tinterwebs. That's a very, very, very nice screen. Let's have a look at it. Let's put Tekken on. No, let's put Punisher on. Right, so you press far, takes a moment. I love this game. Volume up. Sound seems to be perfect. Obviously, I'm going to go as the Punisher because... Ooh, he sat on his roids. What he said. Yeah, this isn't helping. But, hopefully you can see what a lovely screen that is. I don't even know if I'm playing it, I can't see. Yes, I am playing it, I'm just getting beaten shitless, but yeah, there you go. Right, we won't look at too many games here because we're going to cover a few more when I try filming the screen. I really don't know how you... And also plug it into the TV, but we'll have a look. I'm just going to put it on the PlayStation out of absolute curiosity, because that will be a very good way to, you know, see it. I just put a massive fingerprint on that. It feels like an effort has been made, you know. The sound effect is not tinny or anything like that. It's a decent speaker it would appear on this one. The speaker was underneath on the other one, which was a bit of a shame. But then look up that video, because I'm not going to lie, I really did like that machine. This appears to be the logical increasement over that. You know, it's the same sort of style and form design, but it's making the effort. It's got HDMI, which we haven't seen yet, so we're going to hold judgment on that one. But yeah, PlayStation 1, Tekken, there we go. I don't know how easy it is. Sometimes these are a little fiddly to load ROMs on, which gets really, really, really irritating, but I'm pretty sure, should you want to, you can look it up on Tinterwebs and find a tutorial. I don't want glare, but I don't want to get an angle where you can't see anything. Is this going to be the real-time demo? No, it's going to be the movie. I don't want to show that because I might get spanked for copyright. But I've always loved the real-time demo on this. If you watch my Pandora's Mini overview, or you watch me playing the PlayStation Classic, are you going to be the real-time thing? There we go. I've always loved this. Sound seems to be perfect. That looks absolutely spot on in Jim Dandy. I mean, I know it's not. We're not playing the game as such. We will do that, but both capturing it, filming this, and off the telly. But yeah, that looks. I'm not noticing any slowdowns and stuff like that. But then, is this a real-time demo, or did they just record it and then made it into a video? I don't know. Let me know. But anyway, right, I'm gonna have a quick go at trying to capture it. I don't know how easy that will be. Try and capture it and, you know, see how... Well, I'm going to see how it fares playing with the joystick, you know, in my hands. But before we say that, let's turn it off. I'm jumping ahead of myself. Let's see what's in the peripherals. Because I'm pretty sure it's going to... Yeah, it's got control pads because, obviously, it's like the model above the previous one. I don't know if that was JXD, but I'm going to guess so because they were clear plastic pads. But the pads you get with these sort of things are always these mini little ones. They are a little bit small, but they are 6-button. And while they do feel cheap, the other ones performed really, really quite well. So, you know, well, judgment until I plug that into the TV. But, I mean, what do you expect? They're super, 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 super cheap. As long as they're reasonably functional, you know, and there's no lag and stuff like that, then it'll be very interesting to see how they perform when plugged in. You get 2 of those. Here you get your official quality stamp, you know, because it's important to have levels of quality, even though you've completely preloaded it with illegal ROMs that is breaking the law. But good to know. You get that. You do get a manual, which is all in Chinese, and is all in Chinese, it would appear. Mind you, it's the smallest thing ever. Why do they make these things so bloody small? And I've got reasonably good eyesight. Yeah, but let's be honest, you don't even get manuals with games anymore, so why do we care? And you get a micro USB, but you don't get an HDMI lead, which, to be fair, I'm not going to piss them off about because I've got so many anyway, and I don't know, cost, I guess. Right, anyway, yeah, sorry, I can't talk in this video. I'm going to jump into my games room and see. No, I'm not. I'm jumping ahead of myself. All over the shop. I apologise. I'm going to go and see if I can capture it in another room because I know how I'm going to do it. Am I going to film it on my phone, or am I going to use my tripod? And we'll see what it's like. Right, hopefully this will come out all right because I'll show you how I'm capturing it. So yeah. Anyway, so title screen, as I said, you've got a number of games with well, A few games with a quick selection go straight to, and as per normal with these things, they're mostly CPS, you know, Capcom titles. Not sure why it's always the route, but right, I can tell you now. Obviously, your mileage may differ based on the way I'm capturing it, but the screen on this is really nice. I probably should have taken that off, but I can't be asked because my OCD doesn't let me. But then you go to the bottom and you've got a number of different options. So music, what's that one? Pictures, video, browse folder, settings. Have a look in settings, language settings, theme style, off screen settings. What's that? Oh, there we go, off screen. I thought it meant as in not on the screen. We'll go with 30. And we go back. Keytone settings. Oh, that's interesting. Sound 1. Ooh. Oh, that's horrible. Yep, do you know what? Suddenly that doesn't sound too bad, does it? Right, the buttons feel alright. The joystick, as I did mention, you can't see this, you can only see the screen. It self-centers quite well, but it's too loose for my liking. But then I always used to complain about that, and then once upon a time I had to deal with the C64 mini joystick, which has no travel whatsoever. So I guess rather loose than tight. Sounded awkward. Game, music, pick, video. Right, what's on here? They're all cartoons. I'm not going to show them to you, but they're all like CGI cartoons. Right, we'll come back. I'm not going to go with music because of copyright. We'll go with game. CPS, Famicom, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color, Game Boy, PlayStation 1, and Super Famicom. We'll try Super Famicom because it's always really difficult to emulate the music on a Super Famicom. That's, you know, where you can tell whether it's a make or break emulation device. Let's go for, what should we go for? Right, I wish it had a number so I can... Oh, now look at Batman Returns. Not Batman Forever, that's god-awful. Had a number so you could just press up and go to the bottom list and see exactly how many games exist within each folder for each different system it's emulating. Because I know there are 9,000 on here, but I'm guessing that probably means with consoles. Full libraries? I don't know. How loud is it? Hopefully you can hear it. I don't want it too loud because I don't want it to drown out me. Right, skip to the end. We'll give it a little bit. That sounds alright. Normally it's all up and down and crackly and, well, doesn't sound anywhere like the actual, you know, tune. But we know what this tune is. It's from Batman Returns. I'm really actually quite impressed with this. This sounds alright. Start. Let's see how it plays. Underrated gem. Best Batman. Still to this day. Seriously. I mean, to me that sounds absolutely bang on. If you can hear it, it's not, then, you know, let me know, but... There was no driving section in this game, was there? So why did you set us up and tease us with that bit? I'm not saying it would have been Mega CD driving section good. But you could have done some Mode 7 trickery and stuff. Whoa. Did I do the same thing? No, we'll do this one then. Seems to be running absolutely fine. Oh. Alright. I'm being very light-handed because I don't want to move it. So, oh, look at that. You know, I've got it set up. I've got the camera drained on it. So I don't want to move it. You know what I mean. I can't, you know, get really into it. Softly catchy monkey is what I'm trying to say. So what, start and select comes back. Restart. Does that restart the game? That restarts the game. I'm starting to wish. Yeah, I'm starting to... We'll turn it off and on. I actually tore this off. But I can't! It's OCD. JXD started in 1995. Knocking off Chinese tat since 1995. I do like that. That's nice. And I do like the initial layout, because I've been playing a lot of these handheld ones that look like they've ripped off of PSPs and trying to nick the switch colours, you know, design on the pads and stuff. And they've all got horrible sort of PSP knocked up interfaces that are just pants. I like this. It's a lot similar to my other mini arcade tabletop. Right, game. Go back to game. The menu layout's pretty sweet and simple and stuff like that. Right, so what's that? Is that? Yeah, so there you go. Three Ninjas. Sonic is the one to go for, isn't it? I guess I should go backwards then. I wish I could just hold the joystick. First world problems, eh? Oh, I navigate like that, do I? Come on, Sonic. Just because I know what it runs on well, i.e. my Mega Drive Mini. Yeah, this didn't... No. See, that's annoying. Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade? No, you're awful. It's... yeah. Anything else I know the music for perfectly on this? Because this really does appear to be the full library. We'll go with Mortal Kombat. There we go. Skip to the end. Mortal Kombat 3. Not probably the best game to try this on. Shaw Williams. Yep, we get ya. That's a bit quiet. So the volume per system you emulate goes up and down. Interesting. Now, I don't want to, like I said, I got to be softly catchy monkey, but the thing is, I'm awful with this game anyway. Right, something else not many people get right in emulations, obviously. Mega Drive. Now, that's right, but obviously the sample speech on all the Mega Drive stuff is pants anyway. See what I mean? Well, you know that if you played Mortal Kombat on the Mega Drive. Did I skip? Yeah. Turn that down a bit. To be fair, this is a pretty good port. Oh, he's responding, and I was going to say, I thought, he just stood there for ages, I thought it must have been on 2-player. This plays really well. Alright, show off, okay, no, this plays really well. Right, let's have a look at the PlayStation game. Then a reset button would have been nice. Just quickly, and then obviously I'm not going to do loads of examples in this, just to give you a feel for it when you're playing it on the... Because in the first person, you know, in person I should say, in the first person, this looks really nice. I just want to see what PlayStation 1 runs like. Game. Shame you can't have wallpapers. Not the end of the world. I am familiar, you know, familiar with that, but just would be nice. You know, who doesn't like a wallpaper? Oh, interesting. That's the file layout. What file layout is it then? Oh, I don't care. It seems to work. I did read somewhere that you had to rename it or something if you want PlayStation ROMs to work on this. Oh well. Right, skip that. Arcade mode. Again, the volume's all up and down, depending on which system you're running. Go Huang, because he's my favourite. Then it's Paul. Oddly enough.
Round 1. Fight.
Right, it's just those two. And the buttons map properly. This seems to be running absolutely bang on. I'm not noticing any slowdown or frame dropping or anything, or any tearing and stuff. That really is actually quite impressive. I don't know why I'm trying to do that triple kick I always like doing. Because it's not going to happen on this pad, is it? This is really impressive. Right, alright. Yay, air juggles for the win. Right, well that's enough of that. What we'll do now is we'll connect it to the TV. Right, obviously mileage may vary for you guys because you're watching this and how I've captured it for a camera and pointed it at the screen, but I couldn't be, too vigorous with it because I sounded awkward, didn't want this to move when I had the camera looking at it. But joystick is a little loose, it's not really unplayable, but we don't know what the pads are like yet. But the functionality, like I said, they're cheap and like not clicky but hollow plasticky sound, because I'm not going to take it apart, but it would be interesting to see what the insides look like. But yeah, it's fully functional. It's like it is on the other one. It's not the greatest joystick in the world, but it's not the worst joystick in the world. And to be fair, the joystick on the Neo Geo Mini itself is just as loose as this. But do you know what? I mean, it's a gimmick, kind of a show-off piece, a shelf piece, playing it like this when you can plug it into your TV, especially down HDMI. But it works really, really well. It works just as good as the other one. And yeah, really, really quite impressed for such a cheap piece of kit. Tekken appears to run absolutely bang on that. So I'm going to be very interested in loading on a lot of PlayStation ROMs and seeing what, it looks like then. So, how other ROMs I perform and what I guess the connectivity or the how accurate or how many it can run of the games, I guess. Anyway, let's go into the game room and we're going to plug it into the TV and play it down one of these little beauties and see what it's like. So here we go, I've got it connected to my TV running down HDMI, but as you can see my TV doesn't register it, but when I set it by giving you the actual screen resolution it's running in. But I think it's safe to say it is, what happened with the sound? It's very, very sharp, looks very, very nice. The sound doesn't seem to click on every icon, but so you can see all the games in here. Obviously now I'm not staring at an incredibly small screen. That is a very nice image. Obviously, even if it's not running at like 1080, it's way, 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 way above AV, which is on all the other systems these people make. So that's brilliant. Right, so yeah, look at the games. Street Fighter 3. That'll be an interesting one. Pad works fine. Annoyingly though, the button layout on the pad is different to the button layout on the actual unit, which seems a little bit odd. And also, oh no, I was going to say, has it paused? Is it not working? Street Fighter 3 Third Strike. It'll be interesting to see how it runs this. I mean, it must be able to run this if it can run Tekken 3. I shouldn't have said that out loud, should I? Touch wood. The epic trilogy unfolds. Right. Start. Does the sound alright? Yes, the sound appears to be alright. Right, I better talk over the music. We'll go with review. And now the button configuration has gone back to something else. That's weird. Oh, they're usually throwing a ball at me, son. Oh no, the button configuration is weird. This appears to be running fine. Wow. I'm very impressed with this. The pad is fine. What appears to be letting it down is where the button configuration jumps all over the shop. That's to be expected between different games, but having it different to what it is, having it different to what's on the front of the machine, that's a bit weird. Oh, you get some listening now. This pad is absolutely fine. Obviously it's not going to compete with, Xbox pads and stuff like that, but for its purpose on this, the response is absolutely bang on. This pad is absolutely fine. Button layout, get some used to. My skill layout, not so good. I don't know how you reset. How do you reset? Quick game. There is a quick game option. I just couldn't see it before because I couldn't read the screen. There we go. Right. So that's impressive. What else is there in here? Right, night, Final Fight. So obviously, like I said, all these at the top, they're always Capcom games. What's that? Marvel vs. Street Fighter. We'll have a look at that. Marvel vs. Capcom. No, we'll have a look at that. Cheeky.
I wish the pad was ever so slightly bigger. Apparently size is important. Who knew? Go on. I mean, the music's fine. Generally, CPS 1 and 2 are pretty easy to run, aren't they? I do not like the fact that this time the jump button is in front of the fire button. This is odd, the way it jumps all around the shop. It's not a deal breaker. Oh, you can't fire up when you're under that, forget. Oh, yeah. This is absolutely perfect. This actually does show up the pad's limitations. And also my skill. Yeah, this is absolutely bang on. Right. Start and select, go to this screen, quick game. What to try next? What to try? We'll go down into the game library. CPS, Famicom, Game Boy Advance. Guess we try Game Boy Advance. Oh. Oh no, is this the number? Yes, it's broken it down. Well, anyway. That was 3. How do I come back? Like that. I wonder if I'm Mario. Terminator 3 Rise of the Machines. Is it Terminator 3 on this? I'm not even going to waste my time going there. Oh, you can just do that. I don't know if they're in... They're not really in alphabetical order, are they? We'll just try something. Super Mario Advance, I know other emulators have a problem running that for some reason. Game Boy Player, ooh, cheeky. Reading. What does a Game Boy Advance game look like down HD? Is it going to work? Where's the bird this feather came from? Okay, so it's not working. You had your chance, game. You blew it, man. Back. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Don't tell me you can't run Game Boy Advance games. No, you can. It just couldn't do that one. Probably something to do with the Game Boy Advance player, I guess. Come on. Skip to the end. Ooh. Yeah! What he says. I can't. It's all the way over there. It's a bit of a pain in the ass that the controllers plug into the back, I will say that. Right, come on. Oh, this is the weird Nickelodeon one. The weakest iteration of Turtles. Actually, no, it wasn't. The CG one was. Well, no control lag again. Seems to be running this perfectly. Sound seems to be perfect. Do you know what? This machine's turned out to be a bucket full of wind biscuits. It really is. Right, we'll have a look one more. In fact, we're going to try Tekken on the big screen. That's what she said. So yeah, Tekken 3 on the big screen. So I'm going to have to work out then how to put some ROMs on here, clearly, because I'm really interested in see how the PlayStation 1 goes. Oh, hang on, maybe it's a quick look around. Game Boy, Mega Drive, PS1, Super Famicom. See if we can find Sonic. There we go. Right. Yell out when you see Sonic. Sonic Jam, Sonic Spinball, Sonic Eraser. What, you haven't got Sonic the Hedgehog on here? There we are. Oh, it's me, it's my bad. I know I've been playing a lot on Mega Drive recently because of my Mega Drive Mini, so... Oh, Sonic 3. Oh, the music sounds fine. Pause works, always a good sign, that. Oh, you pesky Knuckles with all your 90s tood. More tood than Sonic. Sounds proper. Looks to be running proper. There you go, get one of these instead of a Mega Drive Mini, and then you can play other games as well, but this runs these properly like the Mega Drive Mini. Yike. Oh. Oh no! Yeah, the sound's put me bang on. I suck at this game. You know, yeah, the music's absolutely bang on. Oh! Ah, well there you go. Right, so we'll have to look at Tekken. But everything seems to be coming up nice at the moment, doesn't it? Back. Getting used to the button configuration is also weird. Right, so that would be then the, I guess the way they've not put it in an individual folder, but I'm assuming that's the file there, all the stuff you need per PlayStation game. But I'm not an expert because my PlayStation Classic is just loaded with 2 blue minis. Okay, mode. Now this will be interesting to see how the buttons are mapped. Hwang, always hwang. Go on.
Round 1. Fight.
No way! The button layout is correct. That's interesting. And this pad actually works alright for this. Yeah, the button layout is absolutely perfect. Now it's running properly, you know, proper speed. I'm spotting no frame dropping, tearing, screen tearing that is, and there's no problem with the music. This box is just a handful of impressive win biscuits. Wow, I'm really, really, really impressed. Anyhow, let's round up in the other room.
Well, what are my final thoughts on this system? Basically, I'm really, really, really quite impressed. It definitely outperforms the other system. It was a genuine surprise that it came with HDMI out, and as you could see from the capture, it's certainly better quality high def out than the Pandora's Mini. It did not say on the screen when I turned it on what resolution it was running in, but clearly it was running higher than the Pandora Mini, which was for some reason, even though it was HD, in the 400 plus range. Not sure about that. Build quality, there is weight to it. The build quality is really actually not too bad. You're not going to get micro switches on a system that's sort of 60, 70, 80 pounds, but they perform really, really well. It was a bit disconcerting that the button mapping changes between this and the pad, and it was also a bit irritating that the USBs are on the back. Would have been more helpful if they were on the side, simply because, well, you have to, either way you do it, you turn your TV around, then your HDMI is stretched to the television itself, but if you play it like this, then you're pulling the machine, which obviously isn't necessarily going to affect the way you play, but I don't like putting strain on these pieces here. But yeah, the HDMI was absolutely really, really nice and crisp. The button layout does change between all the games and stuff like that, which I guess you would expect because that comes down to the manufacturers themselves and how they would set them up on the machines. The joystick, as I've touched upon, is by no means terrible or unplayable, but it's in the same ballpark as it was on the Retro Mini arcade tabletop unit. But yeah, there's some weight to it. Rechargeable battery comes reduced. The fact that it's got rechargeable battery means it's a truly portable handheld device. Whether you want to play this in public, if you're, in your commute or something like that, and look like a bit of a tit, I don't know. But I play my Superboy S when I'm out and about, and people don't seem to laugh at that. Speaker quality is really, really, really good, despite the fact there's only one of them. I mean, we're not going to expect this to be a stereo. The screen quality is really, really good, despite the fact that I couldn't take it off because of my OCD. Now, I did try and capture it, as you saw, to show you playing on this, and no matter what I try, despite the fact that it seems to capture right here if it's on, I am aware it's not on. Whatever reason, when I tried to capture it, whether it was my phone or my camcorder, it didn't want to borrow it. But I wanted to give you an indication. But you know, I can tell you right off the bat, ignore how it looked. It was a really, really, really nice, you know, sharp picture, and the colours on this are absolutely amazing. The colours really, really are bright, vibrant, and they just pop. And as for the pads, they may look cheap as chips, as indeed they are, but they perform really quite adequately well. The buttons were mapped for Tekken 3, and as I would like to say, I'm going to have to put some more ROMs on it to confirm, but Tekken 3 running on this, you know, PlayStation 1 game, as far as I could tell, ran absolutely perfect. There was no slow down, frame skipping, dropping, anything like that. The button inputs, there was no lag on the joystick, and this joystick, the buttons were mapped properly for Tekken, and it performed really, really quite well. So yeah, they may look like cheapest chip pads, but they do the job. They really do the job quite well. So what I recommend this, it comes down to whether or not you like stuff like me, which this is a no-brainer. I absolutely adore it. But to sum up, for the money, I think this is an absolutely wonderful little machine. Brilliant screen, connects your TV down HDMI, which is just absolutely fantastic. And hopefully they've set a benchmark or a standard for these machines, and they'll all be going that way. In fact, you can almost argue it's an alternative to the PlayStation Classic, once I put on some more ROMs to confirm that, on how well it runs those games, if you don't want to go that boring route. So, you know, for the money, I'm sure if you shop around you can get it cheaper than what I looked for on Amazon, but I really do thoroughly recommend this machine. I may be slightly biased towards these knockoff tabletop arcade units, but honestly, I cannot express how well this thing runs. Mega Drive SNES don't seem to have any problem in the audio department, which is always a given issue with those games when you run them in emulation. I would say, you know, because I've played more than I've shown you, that the Mega Drive probably runs as well as the Mega Drive Mini, as the SNES does, as well as the SNES Mini. So all in all, the JXD mini arcade unit, I'm still not really sure about a name. I really do recommend this. It's a very, very, very nice piece of kit, especially for the money. As always, especially if you have one of these or know any more information about it, such as what are the gubbins inside, I'd love to know what you think. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you later.